It's my absolute pleasure to welcome Shona McCullagh.
Kia ora.
Shona is one of the OGs. So Shona goes way back before it was Footnote.
Yeah,
You were a student of Deirdre's.
I certainly was. From the age of 11 years old, actually.
I'm quite excited about this because I feel like there is a lot that I don't know. Previous interviews we've covered sort of generations of time that I am across, but this period of time I've been trying to pull things out from Deirdre to learn more. Can you tell us, there's a grey area of when Footnote actually started, and some people are like, what? It should be older than 40 years. Can you share with me your first, perhaps it wasn't called Footnote then?
Well, it was called the Deirdre Tarrant Dance Theatre. It was a different thing, actually. The Deirdre Tarrant Dance Theatre was the most amazing experience as a dance student. I mean, really, what Deirdre did for all of us was absolutely inject us with the complete, utter passion and joy of dancing and performing. I don't know how she did it. You know, she took busloads of us up to Waipukaro and all sorts of places, and she'd do these amazing full productions also at the Opera House. And I think she could see that there was a real need to develop some of the dancers and also the choreographers. And so she created this company. I was 16 and she named it Footnote, and she drew the logo herself. And so that was, and I think it could have been connected with what was called the PAP scheme, which was a Labour government employment scheme. And so a whole bunch of us were actually paid to go and perform in Summer City, which was a big festival every January, and it was held at the Dell at Botanical Gardens. And so choreographic works by Shona McCullagh, very old piece of paper, and so I made a couple of works in 1980, Walk on the Wild Side with Lou Reed. You know, back then it was all about the 3 to 5 minute dance, and all to it was very much around the awesome music that was being played at that time, and again in 1981 we did the same thing. So the name began in 1980, and I think where the anniversaries have started from was potentially when the company started to be funded. Have you found out that?
I think so, and also perhaps it's centered around appointment of a board.
Yeah. So in 1982, I then went off to the School of Dance. So those were my, the 16 to 19 years. It was a big part of my life.
Do you recall this moment? Deirdre shared it with me recently, of being on a plane flying south where the name Footnote was formed. Do you have this memory?
I think we were on our way to the Nio Marsh Theatre in Christchurch. I think we were performing. There was some kind of festival happening down there, and I have a vague memory. Did Deirdre say that?
She did.
Yeah.
She said Shona was there.
Right, okay. Well, I am an OG.
She said there was a bunch of dancers on the plane, actually.
Yeah.
At what point did you come back? Because you then made a couple of different works.
Well, I went to the school. I graduated from there. I went to Australia and danced with Christianides and Dark Swan. And then I came back to Footnote in 87 to make a work called Pièce de Resistance, and that was for the school's program. So it was using like the theme from Bonanza. It was a comic sort of thing. And then I came back in 93, 96 and 99 to make works. And I mean, just looking at the productivity of the company is quite extraordinary, and the development of lots of works that actually stayed in the rep for a bit of time. And Mary Mary, which was a duet I made on Bill Jarman, and I think it was Shelley Andrews. Shelley, was it you? I'd been to Europe on a study grant and seen a billion pietas, pictures of Mary and Jesus, and made this feminist work about women and motherhood, and so anyway, I ended up actually taking that back into my own rep, which was very kind of Deirdre to let me do that, but also things like Michael Parmiter's, Fields of Jeopardy. I mean, that's
iconic.
Just iconic.
Yeah.
And those slippery old floorboards at Cuba Street, saw many a knee and buttock slide past.
And a toenail caught under the...
I did that too.
Oh.
Yeah. No such thing as a target. Yeah.
That must have been really formative for you as well, seeing the beginnings of a company. You were a part of it, and you were right there seeing it develop and grow, and then...
Well, all credit to Deirdre for kind of seeing the gap. Deirdre's whole approach to dance education was, as we know, about the whole person. But also, she had this real commitment to New Zealand, and we're so much richer for it, actually. The amount that she's contributed, and, as a 16-year-old to be asked to make a piece, it was amazing, and the number of choreographers that she supported over the years,
and just an unwavering support as well.
Yeah,
it's all in. You're all in.
Yeah, and not one-offs. She would continue to invite people back. I mean, I think Malia might get the award for the most number of pieces. Would that be right? She made a lot of work.
This. I actually
or Michael, maybe.
I think it might be Malia.
Yeah,
but I should double check. Michael did a lot of works, but a lot of his works got performed over multiple years.
Yes, I noticed that.
Yeah,
in the thing, Bhakti.
Yeah, I even did Bhakti.
Yeah, just iconic works. But also the fact that you can see, as the company developed, inviting Douglas to set knee dance. I mean, that was a coup, really, to get for him to allow the company to do it, and she certainly helped sustain many livelihoods. And there weren't many other opportunities, really. So I'm eternally grateful to her as a teacher, but that she encouraged everybody that there was a pathway to a profession, because you didn't really know that.
No.
And because there was only the National School of Ballet at that time, there really was no pathway. And so she was creating that. It was a training company in a way,
like
when
youth.
When it first transitioned from the Deirdre Tarrant Dance Theatre. So, but then, of course, in 82, the school became changed from the National School of Ballet to the New Zealand School of Dance, and I was like, hooray!
I'm in.
I really want to go there. Yeah. What years were you?
I was a dancer from 2005 to 2010.
Yeah. And how amazing that you are now the artistic director, and you've had so many years engaged with the company.
I feel really lucky for it. And to have seen the growth of the company throughout the years as well, over such a long time.
Yeah. And how do you think it's changed since you were a dancer and now?
I think the core of our kaupapa is still the same, New Zealand, supporting New Zealand artists, dancers, choreographers, musicians. That hasn't changed. I think we are moving towards doing longer, more fully realized work. So Deirdre did a lot of really short form shows, which absolutely served a purpose of that time, and it was very, very valid. And as a dancer, I loved it. I did a show and I got to do 6 different pieces. And so now for us, we're spending longer on works and doing fuller, bigger, meatier things.
And those are really rare opportunities for choreographers.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's super important.
Yeah.
It's very, it's less than one hand, isn't there? The opportunity for someone to make a full-length work in Aotearoa now. And the fact that you've got full-time contracts for dancers.
We do. That was a big shift for us. We're in the second year of having full-time contracts. So originally, when I was a dancer, we would come off contract in October or November, and you'd have the summer of like doing random jobs. Yeah, which was really, really tough. So we made some big shifts in how we operate to be able to offer those for proper full-time roles, and then contract dancers in for specific shows. And it's a nice formula. We're injecting different skill sets and keeping things fresh, because company life can get stagnant if you don't keep injecting things in.
And what have you seen the trajectory with that investment in the dancers? How have you seen that affect their ability, their performance?
I think they're becoming stronger artists. It's being patient. It's being patient with the art form and letting things evolve naturally and grow naturally, rather than this sort of pushing of something, and developing the individual and the unique voice of each dancer and what they can contribute to a process. And they're artists on their own right, they're not just a gun for hire.
I used to feel at the New Zealand Dance Company like that commitment from an organisation to place the dancers at the heart of the art allowed every process to be deeper in a way, because when you do a project there's that pressure. It's like you start here and it finishes there and it's got to be done. I think somehow when dancers feel a sense of security, they can pay their rent, they're not worrying about the next job that they have to go to, or the gap, the hiatus. It allows them to settle and deepen. So I think there is a real impact.
I agree.
I could see that when I when I saw Modern God in particular. It was
and that like dancing for a full year with a company of 4 to 6, that's a lot of dancing in a year. And so when you're trying to condense it into 9-10 months, it's hard. It's hard work. We need to give ourselves space to recover and to think and to process and to onboard the next thing.
Deal with injuries.
And actually there's less. There's less injuries now.
It's interesting, isn't it? That you have a consistency of practice. I just often think about the thousands, hundreds of thousands of droplets of sweat and the kind of cellular magnificence of dancers as a community. And I think that Footnote has really created a longevity and a trajectory and a connection of the dance community in New Zealand. Of course, there are very other important communities, but that through line, it's very easy for entities to suffer and to dwindle and collapse. So just that, Deirdre is someone who has incredible grit and determination, and it must have been really tough going at times, and a very relentless cycle, as working full time. It takes a lot of energy, but it's a collective energy, and just being in the studio next door, and congratulations on your new studios. It's so exciting. That was really hard when, because Cuba Street was such a, an entity.
Leaving that building was so sad.
It was a real home for dance. It had, as we know, its flaws. It wasn't perfect, but there was a consistency and a security of walking up those rickety old stairs and looking at the posters and the history of dance in Aotearoa. So I just think that it's played an incredibly important role in the kind of connectivity, you know, the tissue of who we are between all of us, and you know, like we don't really know each other very well, but we're sitting here sharing, you know, an intimate space really, because we love dance and we love Footnote, and we're grateful, and very, very grateful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. That was a pleasure.
Pleasure for me too.
Yeah.
Thank you.